ওই উইজডম সার্কেলটা দেখো বাল, তোমার অনেক বেশি অ্যাভেনিউজ হবে। আমার আমার লিমিটেড, তোমার অনেকটা বেশি হবে। তোমার এক্সপিরিয়েন্সটা, তোমার স্কিল অনেক বেশি। বুঝতে পারলে তো, অনেক ইজি হবে তোমার। কেউ জয়েন করেন, আমি বসে আছি শুধু। হ্যালো।
Hello.
হ্যালো, হাই, গুড মর্নিং।
Morning, ma'am.
আচ্ছা, where are you from?
Australia.
Okay, what's your name?
Noor.
Acha, Noor. Good. So for us in India, it's good morning. What is the time in Australia now? Where in Australia are you from?
South Australia, Adelaide.
And what's the time now?
About 1 o'clock. 1:03.
Okay, so good. Okay, okay, fine. So you're in grade 7, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we'll have a short demo class, a half an hour class.
Okay.
So what is your favorite kind of topic for science? What do you like or what you dislike?
Um, my favorite topic is probably like either like states of matter and particle theory or like circuit and electrical things. And then my least
Okay, so what do
favorite,
you want me to do with you today?
um, I don't really mind, whatever is easy.
So what are you doing in school now, Noor?
Well, our school just ended, but when it starts
Okay,
again, um, I'm pretty sure our teacher said we would be looking at forces.
force. Okay, right. So let's do something. Today in the demo class, let's talk a little bit about force. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So can you see my whiteboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello? Yes, I can see your white.
Just a second.
Okay.
I'm just changing my network to a better network. Just give me a.
All good, ma'am. Take your time.
So basically, force is a chapter of physics, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what is physics? Physics is the study of physical quantities.
Yeah.
Can you see what I'm writing on the whiteboard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what are physical quantities? Physical quantities are quantities that we can measure. You can interrupt me, you can ask me any questions whenever you want, absolutely free. Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
physical quantities are quantities that can be measured, right? Why do we need to measure? So each of it, ask questions. If whatever you do in life, the more questions you ask, the easier you will learn. So why do we need to measure?
Um, to make sure we know like accurate information.
absolutely correct. So when we measure, we specify a numerical quantity, right? A number.
Yes, ma'am.
Suppose I tell you, Noor, I'm quite older. I'm much older than you. Okay. So can you tell me how old I am? If I just make a statement that I'm older than you have no
No,
clue.
ma'am.
I tell you, Noor, I'm 50 years age. I'm 50 years. So then immediately you can, calculate that you must be how much? You're in class 7, so you must be 10, 11 years old. So I'm almost 40 years older to you, right? So as soon as
Yeah.
I give you a number, immediately what you can do is you can compare. So then you are 10 years old and I am 40 years old. So immediately you can compare. I'm 50 years old, so you can compare your age with mine. So whenever we measure physical quantities, it makes comparison, number one, it makes comparison easy. And number two, it makes understanding of the quantity also easier.
Yeah.
That is the reason we want to measure everything, right? Okay, I tell you, Noor, I'm pretty fat. So you have no idea of how fat. You can see me, you can see my video, but you don't know how fat I am. I tell you that, I'm 69 kgs. So immediately you get a picture in your mind of how fat or how thin I am. Right. So from the number, it becomes very easy to interpret data. So in
Yeah.
physics and chemistry, what we do is we interpret data in various ways. Okay. Now,
Okay.
so when I said that, suppose your mom now gives you some dollars and she tells you to go to a market and get some apples. Okay. She tells you, no, go and get 2 kilograms of apples or 2 kg, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this two is the number or the numerical value, which in physics and maths we refer to it as the magnitude.
Yes, ma'am.
Magnitude. So to measure any physical quantity, we require a numerical value which is called as the magnitude, and this kilograms is nothing but the unit of measurement. So for measuring any physical quantity, we have two parameters. We have the magnitude, which is the numerical value, and the unit of measurement, right? So when I said that my age is 50 years old, 50 is the magnitude and years is the unit of measurement.
Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Okay? Basic
Yeah.
fundamentals, if you get this clear, physics and chemistry will be cakewalk, right? So we
Yeah.
require magnitude and a measurement. And this word magnitude is used not only in physics and chemistry, but also in mathematics. Magnitude means physical value, right? Now,
Yeah.
got fundamental physical quantities. And the fundamental physical quantities, fundamental, the word English word fundamental means basics. Okay, the basic physical quantities. The fundamental physical quantities are those of length, those of mass and time. So what I mean fundamental physical quantities are that these are the basic physical quantities from which all the derived physical quantities can be obtained. So the second category is derived physical quantities. So we have fundamental physical quantities and we have derived physical quantities.
Yes.
Okay. So basically the fundamental physical quantities form the basis of physics, chemistry and mathematics. Now you will possibly are in the 7th grade. So you will do force as a part of physics, but later on, once you move to your higher classes, force is a part of mathematics also. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we have the fundamental physical quantities of length, mass, and time. Yeah. Whenever we talk about physical quantities, we have two categories of physical quantities. One is what is called as scalar quantities, and the second are vector quantities. These are what we are doing today in this demo class are very, very basic concepts of physics, chemistry, maths, which you will use as long as you study. Okay, I'm focusing on the concepts first. So once the concepts are clear, then everything becomes very easy. So what is the meaning of this? Scalar quantities are those quantities which have only magnitude. What is magnitude?
The number, the numerical quantity, but not the unit of measure.
No, unit of measurement also. So example of say, scalar quantities are distance. Most of it you know now. Speed, time, mass. All of these are scalar quantities. So all of these quantities only have the magnitude. Vector quantities have both magnitude and direction. Examples of vector quantities are displacement, weight, velocity, acceleration, and many others also. As we proceed with the classes, I'll tell you. So whenever I teach you any physical quantity in physics, we'll first study what the physical quantity is, what is the mathematical way to represent or calculate that physical quantity, whether it's a scalar or vector, and what are the different units in which you can express that quantity. This is the way I do it. Okay. And we'll do loads of examples, numerical questions, because when you do those, your concepts get clear. Right?
Okay.
Clear till now? So vector and scalar quantities. Okay. So you are living in Australia, right? So what your the currency that you're using there in Australian dollars?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Tomorrow, let's say you travel to India on a holiday. Will the Australian dollars work in India?
No, ma'am.
No. Then you require Indian rupees, right? So regarding this currency, whichever country you are in, when you travel to that country, you have to ensure that you carry the currency of that particular country. Tomorrow, if I come to visit you in Australia, I have to come in with Australian dollars. Otherwise, I can't make any purchases there, right? In science, we did not want this confusion. So we have what is called a very standard system of units. So whether you're studying in Australia, India, Honolulu, wherever you want in the world, so we follow an international system of units, which is the accepted system for all across the world. It is also called as the SI system. SI system is actually a French word, okay, but it loosely translates to International System of Units. This is also has a name. This is called the MKS system. M, K, and S. I'll tell you what is this. So this International System of Units makes it very easy for us to study any physical quantity wherever, whichever part you are there in the world. 1 meter for me means the same 1 meter for you. So this is like a standard in physics and chemistry and maths, which follows an international system to avoid any confusion in the units. So it makes our life much easier. The second system of units that we'll do is called the CGS system. And the third system of unit that we will do is called the FPS system. I will tell you each of it. It's very simple. You don't have to, learn up anything. You just have to understand. So what is this? What is the meaning of this and what is the difference? What is this all about?
Get
So
your
I told you earlier. Okay.
Hi, sorry.
So I told you earlier. It's completely okay. At home there will be disturbances. It's completely okay. So I told you earlier that the three fundamental physical quantities are length, mass, and time. Right? So basically, in the international system of units, the quantity of length is measured by meter. So suppose today you have to get a dress, fabric for a dress, you go to a cloth shop and buy possibly 1 meter of a dress fabric. And that 1 meter of a dress fabric is a standardized system. So 1 meter of fabric in Australia is the same as 1 meter of fabric in India, is the same as 1 meter of fabric in the Arctic Circle. So that is a standardized unit, and that makes our life very easy. Second fundamental physical quantity was mass. So mass is measured in kilograms. And the third is time. Time is in seconds. Okay. Now, I told you, this is also, SI system is also called MK system. M stands for meter, K for kg, and S for second. So it's just an acronym, it's like a short form. IDK, you're on social media, right? So
No,
you must be knowing all.
Yeah, I was just remembering that it's blurred. I'm just remembering that I have notes of this from one time. I remember, I don't know where, but somewhere I learned it.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So I'm just recollecting everything.
Once your fundamentals are clear, no, it is just cakewalk. It's very easy. The problem happens because most students, instead of understanding the basics and trying to understand things, they just learn it up. And this learning up mechanism does not work in studies. If you don't understand, you can't reproduce it years later. Right? Now, coming to the CGS system. So, I focus a lot on explain. If you've noticed, I use a lot of the board, and my focus is to making you understand the concepts.
Yeah.
I'm putting very less, and you don't have to learn up anything. You have to just understand the thing. And later
Yeah.
on, when questions, automatically you can just apply this. And whatever we are learning now in science and math, all has a practical application. And whatever examples I do, I'll give you examples from your daily life. So every day in your life, you're using force in some way or the other, but possibly not realizing that that's the force of love. Now your mother came at the back of you and she pushed your chair inside the bed, right? So that push is also a force.
Yeah.
I saw that she pushed your chair, so that push is a force. Okay, now coming back to the CGS system of units. So length in the CGS system of units is measured in centimeter. So now you can, I think, easily figure out from where is the C coming from. C stands for centimeter. Mass is measured in grams, GM, and time stands in, time is measured in seconds. So gram, second. CGM, C for centimeter, G for gram, S for second. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
FPS. So length is measured in foot. Let me just. Mass is measured in pound. Time is measured in seconds. So FPS, foot, pound, second. Even today, this pound unit of measurement is used somewhere. Can you tell me? When you order a birthday cake, how you order
England.
a birthday cake, you say 1 pound of, yeah, you say 1 pound of cake or 2 pounds of cake, right? So
Yeah.
typically, this foot pound system is still used in cities all across the world. We normally don't say 1 kg of cake, we call it 1 pound of cake. So in the baking industry, still the FPS system is used, right? So whenever we do a physical quantity, I will tell you whether it's scalar or vector first, and then I will tell you what is the unit each of this. What is the SI unit? What is the CGS unit? What is the FPS unit?
Okay.
But primarily we'll be focusing on the SI unit and sometimes the CGS unit.
Okay.
Most books all across the world, they use the SI system. Why? Because the SI system is a standardized okay. So the
Yeah.
SI system is a standard system of units. Yeah. Okay. So let's say we start force. So force is the first chapter that you want. So I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Okay. The Olympiad success team has told me to do the class 7 Olympiad syllabus with you, but it's as you wish. If you want me to do that, I'll do that. If you say that you want me to cover the chapters in your school, I'm okay with that. Whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say we start about force. Okay. Before we get into force, what is distance? What do you mean by distance?
The like length
Okay.
from
The
one
actual
place to
cover.
another.
Or the actual path covered. So you are sitting in Australia. I'll take examples from this. I am sitting far away in India. Absolutely different, hemispheres also, right? Suppose today you travel to my place and this is the road that you follow. It looks like a storybook, but yeah, this is the road that you follow, right? You're cycling or walking and coming to India, right? So distance will be the actual path covered. So you're taking this route. So this is the distance. And you will
Okay.
be reaching in possibly 2 months, 6 months, 3 months, whatever. Right? Distance is a scalar quantity. Scalar means what?
Just
Noor, what is
the
scalar?
magnitude.
Correct, just magnitude. And the SI unit of distance is meter. And the CGS unit of distance is centimeter. Normally, as I said, we focus on the SI unit only. Right? Why are we talking about this? Because force will involve mass, it will involve acceleration. So if you don't know, these are the basic kind of concepts of physics. Okay. Next, we come to mass. What do you mean by mass? Anything. You don't have to give me a bookish definition. Anything. What is mass?
It is the amount of space something takes up, and like the weight.
Something. Yeah, it is the amount of matter present in an object. Body, object, whatever. And in physics and math, in science and maths, body does not mean a living body. Even a ball is a body for me. Okay, a ball is an object, a ball is a body. And a human being or a dog is an object and a body also. So mass is the amount of matter present in a body, right?
Yeah.
Mass is a scalar quantity and table per kg. The SI unit is kg. Is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So the SI unit is kg, right? Now, you said something about space, right? Just because you mentioned that volume. So volume is the space occupied by a body.
Yeah.
The volume is a scalar quantity and the SI unit of volume is meter cubed. So I say, today I'll give you 200 meter cubed of say Coke or, some drink. So volume is the space occupied by a body. Okay. So mass
Yeah.
is the amount of matter. Can you name something which is not mass? Anything. Something which
Yeah.
doesn't have matter.
Yeah.
So example, things which are not matter is say a rainbow in the sky, all your emotions. Okay,
Yeah.
whether you're happy, yes, all of that doesn't have any matter. So all of that is just on matter.
Yeah.
Right? Is it okay? Are you understanding?
Yeah.
Okay. The next quantity that is displacement. Right? Okay. So displacement is nothing but it is defined as the shortest distance from the starting point to the ending point. Displacement is a vector quantity. So it means it has both magnitude and direction. And the
Yeah.
SI unit of displacement is meter.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, displacement is it's a very interesting or a very tricky kind of thing. Suppose this is a circular football ground or a circular lawn. This is the center. The radius of this football ground is R. You are standing at the point A. This is you. Okay. And you're jogging or you're walking all across the football ground.
Okay.
Okay. What is the distance covered, Noor? Actual path. This is the circumference of the circle.
Yeah.
What is what? 2 pi r, where pi equal to 22 by 7. So pi is a constant, which is 22 by 7. You know this, right?
I don't think I've actually learned this formula before.
In maths, you haven't done circle?
Like we've learned like what is a circumference, what is a radius, but I don't think we've done like this like formula before.
The circumference is given by 2 pi r, where pi is 22 by 7, and where r is the radius of the circle. You can write this down
Yeah.
if you want. So this is the basic, formula of mathematics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you start from A and you're coming back at A, right? So displacement is the shortest path covered, or the shortest distance from the starting position. So displacement in this case is 0. Why? Because you started at A, so displacement will be 0 when a body comes back to its original position.
Okay. Yeah.
Comes back to its original position. Okay. So you started at the point A, and after covering this path, you came back to the point A. So the displacement that you have covered is 0. So it's completely possible that there is a distance that the pi covered. So here the distance covered is 2 pi r. The pi is a constant which is equal to 22/7, and r is the radius of the circle. But the displacement covered is 0. And when is it possible? That is always possible whenever a body or an object comes back to its original position after covering a certain distance. So whether it's a circular path, whether it's a square path, whether it's a round, rectangle, triangle, whatever it is, even if it's a rectangle, that holds true. So you start at the point A, you're walking like this, B, C, and if you're coming back to A again, so distance covered will be the perimeter of the triangle here ABC, and the displacement covered will be 0.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever an object comes back to its original position after traversing or after covering some distance, the displacement will be 0.
Okay.
How far is it from your home? How long does it take? Do you cycle? Do you bike?
No, I take the school bus.
You take the school bus. So in the morning when you're going to school, you're covering a certain distance. When you're coming back from school, again you're covering a certain distance. Total displacement 0. Because you've come back to your original position, which is your home, after going to school and coming.
Okay. Yeah.
So whatever path you cover, if you come back to the original position, your displacement will be 0.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes
Right?
sense. Yeah.
So till now today we have covered distance, we have covered scalar and vector. We have covered, just to give you a kind of a summative of what we have done. So we have done the fundamental physical quantities, we have done scalar and vector, we have done the system of units, we have started off the distance, mass, volume, displacement. Okay.
Yeah.
So why are we talking about all this? Because later in the next class, we'll start our classes from 22nd, right? Acha, Noor, what time do you come back from school?
Oh, in about a week and a half, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, anyway. So basically the next, yeah.
When we come back from when do I go back to school?
When do you come back from school?
No, when do you go to, like, when is school starting again?
Okay, now you're having holidays. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay, no problem, no problem. So basically this is what we have covered. Okay. So when we start our classes from 22nd, we will do the other physical quantities. We'll do speed, we'll do velocity, we'll do acceleration. And then because force is nothing but mass into acceleration. So to understand force, you have to understand what is mass and you have to understand acceleration. And acceleration again depends on velocity.
Yeah.
The way in which I teach is, clearing up your concepts and making you understand the basic concepts based upon which everything else just falls into place. If you just start force is equal to mass into acceleration, that doesn't work in the long term. You can't, end up doing problems, right? Was it okay? Did you understand?
Yes.
Hello. Any questions? Any doubts? I have, for the demo class, I was told to take a class of half an hour. We started at 9, so I think we should end now. Was it okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Up. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I am Neha. I am Noor's mom.
Okay. I am Usha. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Usha. So
Same here. Yeah.
I really like the way you were kind of making effort teaching her and stuff. Just
just
Right.
I wanted to give some indication of, because I know her for a long time. I think I want to create,
Okay.
I think teaching is your energy into this, but I want you to create a process for her to kind of participate and reproduce, because sometimes children understand, but they are unable to reproduce on a paper. So, like, for example, when you're saying what is force or what is mass, so she has an idea and she has an experience that, the mass of this is 1 kg or whatever it is, right? But to be able to verbally say it is this, like definitions and stuff. So I want you to kind of bring a little bit of focus on, because children drop it at understanding, not at reproducing. And unless you reproduce something, you cannot get a grade that you want.
Be rest assured that, I'll take her through, loads of questions and make her do it actually. It has to be she has to do it and she has to actually, solve it. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
has,
So I think, like, if you kind of set up every class with a 15 to 20 minutes of a test of the previous one.
yeah,
So every
good.
day teacher and every day tester.
Okay, fine,
So
absolutely.
till, yeah, so for till 28th, I don't even mind if we extend the class to make it a little bit bigger. I'm happy if you were to do an hour and a half, because you feel that in an hour I will teach. But if you want this testing to happen every day, because without reproducing it, like asking her to, okay, Noor, I want to take away you to take away everything. I want you to write down the definition of this particular thing. So
Also, tell
if
me, also, I wanted some clarity because the Olympiad success team has told me to cover the Olympiad, the CBSE syllabus of class 7. I'm not very clear on the expectations here.
So I think if you I am not sure how far is the Olympiad course. Noor, can I have a science book of yours so that I
Yeah,
can just,
yeah, just hold it. So I would
yeah.
request you something to share her syllabus with the Olympiad success team and they'll forward it to me. That will really help us both. So I know
Okay.
like what are the syllabus which I have
Noor,
to
bring
cover.
me the book quickly. Yeah. So I will try and do that. I will kind of photocopy the content pages, or I'll just kind of do that and then share it with the guy who kind of did that. But I think there might be a lot of resonance, because you started with this chapter, and I think this is the chapter they were probably their first chapter was this actually this year.
I asked her.
Mhm.
When I began the class, I asked her what is the first thing that you'll do once the school
Yeah,
opens.
so
So then
I
she
I was hearing that, yeah. So I'll tell you her. Just we can have a brief understanding of what it is. So I think the first chapter is called the Science Toolkit.
I've already done that.
so
I know.
it will really help me if you just share the syllabus. You can take a photograph of the content page and share
Yeah,
it
yeah,
with
I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. But it's basically about, how safety and precautions and accuracy in measurement and lab equipment and experiments and graphs and tables and reports and things like that. The second chapter is the particle model. And I think in this one, they are just talking about matter. And then they're talking about mixtures. And then they're talking about forces. They may not have done the force, but I think, but that's how it feels like. And then they have
So
classification, which is from the biology, I think. Yeah.
I have to
And there's ecosystem. And then there's earth sciences.
I have two requests here. Number one, you share the syllabus or the content, either the
I'll do
photograph.
that.
Second, also the name of the book which is followed in the school along with
Okay.
it. That will
Okay.
actually ease up my life. See, whatever we do in this class should be helpful for her in a school content, right?
Absolutely. We don't want the child to be meeting multiple expectations, because children then get confused and lose the stuff.
Just share the name of the book and the author of this book that they follow in school, and I'll take it up from
Yeah. So how did you feel about teaching her? Do you think you guys had a little connection? Because I joined a little bit later actually, and then I got into the kitchen cooking and
there. It's too early, but definitely I'll give you a feedback once we proceed after a few more classes. Today was too early, right? It's the first day,
okay.
so
No, no,
it takes
yeah.
time for the student to build up a rapport with the teacher, and it's mutual. So it takes some time for the bond and for that understanding to be built. But
Yeah,
once it
yeah.
up, it's like a
But,
synergy.
but
Once
do
that
you
happens,
think she was actually grabbing you? She was
yeah,
picking up your content, and because we have tried a few teachers, and then what has happened is that she hasn't really picked up. And she's like, this is not working. And I'm like, but I think when I walked in, I could see that at least she was engaging. So yeah.
I think that is step number one. But as we proceed, definitely I'll be giving you better feedback.
Okay. So I will send this stuff to the contents sheets to Biswajit,
Book along with the author.
and I will send you. So it's the Oxford book, Science Oxford book, Helen Selveston.
Just send it to them and they'll share it with you.
Send it to you. Yeah. I'll send it to Biswajit and then he can forward that to you.
Forward it.
So
Yeah.
with regards to timings, I think this time suits, but every once in a while, if we were to change, we'll have to change it once she goes back to school.
Fine.
And then I was thinking we should set up some time in the evening, which would be like right now, it's 1 in the afternoon here, and you're 9, what time? 9 in the morning, right? So I think she will be late, but you'll be early. So we'll have to set up something like 9 p.m. her time or something like that, or 8
We'll work
p.m.
out.
her time.
Yeah.
And during the break time, there is 1 or 2 days that I am not able to just work things around because she's been booked out in other places previously. Is it possible to have an alternative session in the evening if once or twice this is not possible?
Yeah, yeah. I have to, even I have a very packed calendar, but then I'll, work around with the with this Sujeet, and
So
definitely
I
we can.
think one of the days that we are likely to do, Noor, is the Rachel thing on the 22nd, right? Tuesday, 22nd.
Yes.
Yeah, is 22nd. So I was thinking on the 22nd, if we could have a class around 10 in the so 10 my time, 6 in the evening your time.
I can't do 6. I can do 5 p.m.
You can do 5 p.m. All right. So I think I will ask them to come back by 9. So that should be fine. So just for the 22nd at this moment, if you can just make note of that, that would be fantastic. And yeah, I look forward to working with you, but make her reproduce. I want her to be, learning the definitions, because the way these people teach here, they do not encourage rote. But the thing is, your understanding must be supplemented with rote for you to be able to reproduce. But when they assess, they expect the
You
rote.
just
But
you
when
you
they
just
teach,
communicate.
hello? Hello? No, something happened, beta. Can you?
Yeah.
They've gone, I think, isn't it?
Mhm.
Okay, that's fine. So let's talk to Biswajit. Well, how did you like the teacher? No?
You're probably on the call.
Is she?
She's
No.
participants one.
So that is who's this participant is Noor.
You.
So I think we should now exit.
Yes.